So now it's the part of the video you've all been waiting for. What am I going to do with this thing?
Wake up in the morning, it's a brand new day. Need to grab those keys and fire away. Hit that ignition turbo with some head down the track and don't look back. This is way off-road adventures. Welcome to 4x4x4.
Good morning and welcome to another episode of Warrior. This time we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to give the old Subaru a birthday because it is actually a long weekend, and what a cracking day we have for it today. Absolutely beautiful, blue skies. I really hope it holds out. But being the long weekend, before we can get started into doing anything, we really got to give this thing a birthday, give it a service, go over it, and you guys are going to come along for the ride. So if you're interested in what's going to happen, stick around. Alright, first of all we've got to start off with our little box of ingredients, I suppose. First of all, we've got cabin air filter. We're going to change that. Then we have a Z09 oil filter. That's for the transmission. We also have Penrite transmission fluid. A brand spanking new air filter for the air intake. Some power steering fluid by Penrite. CRC, just for lubrication purposes. My choice in oil, which is Shell HX7. And then following on top of that is a Z436 engine oil filter. And other than that, we can get started. Let me show you the tools. So this here is what we have for tools. We've got the oil drain bucket, which is very handy. Got the funnel, nice deep funnel, very handy. WD-40. My basic socket set, oil filter removal tool, some rags, a black texture and some service stickers, this marvellous little thing here, which I'll show you a bit later for the transmission. This is fantastic. And this ginormous doohickey. Yes, so this is a ginormous syringe. We'll be using this to extract the power steering fluid, just so I don't have to bust lines. And of course down here we've got two empty Castrol containers which will be used for our old oil, and I'll store them in here and they will get recycled responsibly. So that's what they're for. Alright, let's crack into it. Okay, I've already taken the bash plate off just to save hassle with doing that. So what we want to do first is crack the oil cap. Loosen him off, make sure I can get air, pop your dipstick, optional, then we'll jump underneath the bus and do the rest. Grab that one. Alright, underneath the Subaru we have the sump plug, which is a 17mm. Sometimes it pays to bring a rag with you. And just go over that, make sure you get all the stuff off it. There we go, and again the oil filter as well. It's good to be tidy and clean when you're doing this sort of stuff. You don't want any sand getting in your oil. 17mm, crack him. Oh, beautiful. That's all she needs. When you do sump plugs, it helps if you put pressure on the plug when you take it out. That way it just prevents it dropping in the pan and oil spilling everywhere. So, and keep a rag handy just in case. Okay, now that's loose. I can now pull away the plug. Ta-da! I didn't get any oil on my fingers. Oh, just a little bit. Checking for any metal. Nope, all good. She's a happy little nugget. Now the oil filter. Take my rag out the way. Gently move that over. So thankfully we have enough room between the sump and the oil filter that I can do both at the same time. This little oil filter should be hand tight. You don't need to overdo them. So I should be able to get this off with my hand. With a bit of... And then my hands are all oily. Oh, I might need that rag. My hands are too slippery. Come on, you bugger. That was, I think, right on the very edge. Look out for your oil. Oh dear. Isn't that lovely? Now this little drain pen thing here has also got a place for a filter. Help the filter drain, so that's nice. Alright, we'll let that drain and we'll move on to something else. Alright, so while that oil drains, I thought we could have a look at this air cleaner. Haven't checked this since I've got the car, so may as well do it now. Well, cleaned it at least. Right, so first we're going to undo this little air sensor. Move him out the way. We're going to undo this little clamp here with a little old screwdriver. Now in most cars this is probably unnecessary, but I'm going to do it anyway just to give her a little bit more breathing room, seeing that it's lifted. That should be plenty. Now we're going to pop these, we should really take these hoses off. Move them out the way. Hide them under there somewhere. Okay. Lose that. Pop those clips off. Now I've modified this airbox, so under here I've got these little stainless steel clips because the plastic ones were broken. Not stainless steel, aluminium clips that I made. So we'll see how this goes. Pop him up. So far so good. Just enough room. Squeeze that out. Righto. Check the quality of the air cleaner. That is the intake side or engine side. Oh yeah, not too bad. This is the snorkel side. It's a little bit sandy, but it's not too bad. Not as bad as I thought. But we're going to replace this anyway, because I want this one for a spare. Righto, so I have right here a little Cooper's air filter. Brand spanking. See how different it is compared to the old one. I'm always very curious. Oh, very fancy blue, look at that. I'm going to keep this box. Oh yeah, much the same. I'll grab the old one. Much the same. Anyway, we'll go ahead and stick this in. Make sure that's sitting down nice and flush. And you see my clamps that I made, there's not much tolerance there, which gives this airbox a nice tight seal. Make sure everything's right in here. Right, put this on. You've got to do three things at once here, so you've got to put the intake on, like that. And then you've got to slide it down underneath my clamps that I made, so it's a nice tight snug fit. Also, with getting your air cleaner seal right, without crimping it off or anything silly like that. You'll make sure those little stainless steel clamps in there. There we go. That's nice. Make sure the air cleaner comes on tight. Beautiful. You're going to make sure that's done up nice and tight. Now it's just reverse procedure. Grab our hoses, chuck them back where they belong. Grab your little sensor doohickey, put him back, and plug her in. Don't be like me and forget about it and leave it unplugged and driving down the road and wonder why engine light's on. So what we're going to do with the old air cleaner is we're going to use the box and the air cleaner. I'm going to put it aside again for a rainy day. So what we're going to do is we're going to write the date on here, which is the 4th of the, let me see, it's the 10th, isn't it? 25. I had to think about that for a second. And we're also going to roughly write the kilometres that we took it out. So that's a 2, 30, 7, and 3 zeros. Why not? Kilometres. Excellent. And might as well write change time as well. Beautiful. That'll be perfect. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip this little fella in there, which she's not too bad. And just in case I have issues with the other one, whether it gets wet or full of sand or various other bits and pieces, now we have a spare. So that's going to go in the back of the Subaru. I'll sit him down in there for now. It'll find a home later. And now with the air cleaner changed and everything put away, we can jump back underneath the bus and check out how our oil's doing. So it looks like our oil has come to a very, very slow drip. So what we're going to do is grab our rag, like that. Hold that maybe just a little bit just so it stops dripping. Move our container to the side, but I'm going to leave that underneath where the oil filter was. Just enough room there. Beautiful. Hold my rag there, grab the sump plug. I don't want to get any oil on the concrete, if I can help it. And then, oops, that's magnetic. Drop that in. Jeez. Come on. The old magnet makes it a little bit tricky. There we go. Give it a quick wipe. Now these things don't have to be 110 pound break and strain. You just got to do that up. Just nice. So that's tight, and then maybe what, quarter of a turn? Perfect. That ain't coming undone. So right here, whether it's very important or not, is the WZ436. This is an oil filter, Cooper's one. See, it's only 10 bucks. Personally, I think Cooper's and Repco or Ryco, I know they've got some differences, but the valving and everything, if you cut one open, it's all relatively the same. So I'm going to rip that off. Beautiful, look at that, nice and clean, all ready to go. Of course, it's brand new, why wouldn't it be? So what we're going to do now is going to dip my finger in the oil here, that used engine oil, like that. And I'm going to give that a nice little rub around that seal there. Make sure that's all nice and lubricated. You don't need very much, it doesn't have to be wet, but just a nice smear. Yeah, nice and greasy, or oily, beautiful. The old oil filter will get chucked in there and then disposed of. Now here's the fun bit, don't get any oil, don't get any sand in the new filter, because we've been doing a little bit of off-road driving lately. I'm going to give that nice surface a wipe, get all that crummy old oil off of there, and whatever little bits of sand and stuff is in there. Just going to remove that, make sure that's all nice and clean. You do not want anything in there at all. Very delicate. Just make sure that the thread and everything on there has no sand in it, because you never know. On other motors it's different, but we're pretty lucky with the Subaru because everything's facing downwards, so not really any harm on anything going in there. And then we'll grab our new filter, stick him on, and tighten him up. You don't have to be, again, you don't have to be at 110 pound brake and strain. Just got to do it up firm. There we go. Tight, and then quarter of a turn there, roughly about. If you're interested in one of these nice wide mouth funnels, I'm pretty sure I found, not this one, but I found a couple of them at Bunnings. They're a king chrome one, but you can get them from Super Cheap, or any good sort of automotive shop should have these particular funnels. You just got to do a little bit of digging. So we're going to roughly tip 4 litres in this thing, and then maybe a little bit more for the filter. Of course we can check it with the dipstick when we're done. Got to be careful not to overflow it here. This funnel's not a perfect match for this car. It works for anything else, but not quite a perfect match for here. Usually these things, these funnel bits sit inside the plug very well. There we go, just how I like it. And that little hole there is your full line, so just right. I'm allowing just a little bit for the filter. So when I start it and run the motor, all the oil will circulate, and that will be perfect. So we've got it bang on the knocker. and we can plug everything back in. That is the oil change done. Alright, so with our oil and everything being done, everything looking good, we can now move on to the transmission. Let me show you how that's done. So just like our oil, our little transmission dipstick's down in here. I'm going to pull that out, like that. Looks like it's got no oil on it. No, there's plenty on it. It's just nice and clean, that's all. I only serviced it recently, but for the purpose of this video, we'll be doing it again. Now this funnel here is really special. This thing is worth its weight in gold. Now I got this off the internet for only a couple of bucks, but it is so handy. The little twisty top there, oh, I think I sealed that up pretty well. Whoopsie, no, it's all good. Usually they can separate here, but in this case I don't need it to anyway, so that's alright. It's also got a little mesh filter in there, in case you've got any debris or anything like that. So yeah, I'm going to stick this down the tube and wait for it to do its magic. You may not be able to see it very well on camera, but I certainly can see it from here. This funnel will fit perfectly in that dipstick hole. I'll give that a little push. Whoops, bit too much of a push. Come on, it will fit like that. Haha! Perfect. That'll stay there, and we'll jump underneath the bus and we'll go service the transmission. Alright, so here's our transmission plug, and the transmission filter is just here. What we're going to do, much the same as the sump and engine. Oh, crack that. Make sure our oil pan's positioned underneath it, and now we let the magic happen. Put pressure on the plug, unscrew it. See, I've got the pressure on the plug and it's stopping it from leaking. Oh well, got a little bit of a drip there, but. And now we're going to go boom. Alright, this one I'm going to break out my filter tool. This is only like 10 bucks from Cheapest Chips, or wherever it was. Worth their weight in gold, these things. It's not that tight, it's just easier from this angle to get it with the filter tool. I'll loosen him off. Gently, gently. Let's make a mess of everything, shall we? Oopsie. Cool. And now we'll just wait and let that drain for a while. Yeah, this little filter tool, I think it was only like $12 or something from like Cheapest Chips, or I can't remember where I got this one. Maybe even a bit super cheap, but they're fantastic. So if you ever see one of these, it's saved my bacon plenty of times. Go and grab yourself one. Now down here is a little reservoir called power steering. Now last I checked in here, she wasn't too happy. It's sort of the same colour as the transmission that was giving me trouble. Smells a bit burnt. So I think it needs a flush. And also needs a top up too, because it's a little bit low, so that's not going to help the power steering at all. So we're going to do that now. So I had to go find a little bit of hose so I can fit on the end of my gunny. It's still not quite the right size, because in the hole she's a bit tight. I mean, I'm not complaining, but squeeze him in there all the way to the bottom. Make sure I break everything while I'm at it. I hope there's no that. Let's hope I've got enough throw on this thing to actually do some sucking. Now we're going to pull that out. Oh yep, here we go, look at that oil. No, that's it, she's all done. So anyway, we've got about that much fluid out of it. That's probably about 500 mil, thereabouts, I'm guessing, reading off that little chart there on the side. So we're just going to go ahead with that and fill it up with some new stuff. And of course, before you go adding any new fluids, make sure everything is clean, because you don't want anything getting into your power steering or any of your internal mechanical devices. Now this here is the stuff I'm using. Penrite, and apparently it's got stop leak or something in it, specially formulated for power steering fluid. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and tip all that in, the whole litre. No, I'm just kidding. I'll keep an eye on the fuel line. Now these systems are self-bleeding, so I won't have to worry about it too much. And it's just a matter of putting the cap back on, eventually. There we go, solid. And with that, our power steering change is complete, the lazy way. Anyway, I think it's time we jump back underneath the car and checked out our transmission. This here is a transmission filter, it's a screw-on type, and it is a Z709 Cooper's filter. So there you go, bingo bango. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to pinch a little bit of oil. It's going to be hard to do here with the camera like that, but pinch a little bit of old oil, and again rub that around the seal. Make sure that's all nice and lubricated, just like that. Okay, now that that's all nice and lubricated, we're going to wipe that top piece down. Oh dear, this is hard to do on your back, but we don't want any sand in there, and I can see there's sand lurking around up there, so try and remove all of that if we can, or as much as we can, because we do not want that. There we go, make sure that's all good. Right, stick that in there. Bit of a wiggle, and do him up. And once again, you just want to do these filters up nice and firm, and then about a quarter of a turn. You'll feel it when you do it. I'll do that up. And that doesn't need to be too much either. Like that. And now that our lovely transmission is done, we can now jump up the top and fill her up with oil. So my drink of choice for today is Penrite's Multi-Vehicle Semi-Synthetic. That's the one right there. Nice little purple container. Anyway, this is what I ran in it before, so we're going to do it again and fill this up. And this is where that little funnel comes in real handy. Now just take your time with this sort of stuff. And keep an eye on your dipstick tube, because you don't want that overflowing onto the concrete or ground or wherever you're working. Now doing a bit of research, apparently these transmissions, when you're off-roading these Subarus, they need a little bit more oil than what's actually required for when you're going up steep descents and down hills and stuff, that you don't lose oil in the pickup. Now, personally, I don't know how that works, how these transmissions work. I'm not very familiar with automatics in that mechanical respect, but it makes sense. So I'm going to put a little bit more oil in it than what's required, and keep an eye on it and just make sure everything's running as smoothly as I possibly can. Now, because I'm filling out of the same tube that we're dipping into, it's probably going to take me a few dips just to clean out the tube to get the right reading, if that makes sense. So I'll do this a few times. Just try and wipe the oil down that tube into the pan. So that should be oodles and oodles and oodles of oil. It's roughly 4 litres I put in it, the same as last time. So I'm going to leave it at that, and I'll check it later on. If it needs more oil, then it needs more oil. If it doesn't drive properly, it needs more oil, then I can simply do it with my trusty funnel here. This thing is fantastic, I love it. It just sits there and does its job. If only other tools could sit there and do their job like that funnel. So I'm a happy camper at that. I'll give these things a little bit of a wipe down, and then we'll move on to the cabin filter. That's something I haven't done before, but I know where it's hiding. And I think it'd be due for a change, because it's one of those things that people neglect. So we'll get onto that. In my hot little hands here is something that's probably never been looked at in this thing all of its life. So, cabin air filter for the Subaru Forester, SG. What's part code are we looking at? Cabin filter, WACF0045. Now that is a long one, but yeah, that's your part number. If you're looking for one, for an 07 SG, this is obviously a Cooper's filter, so Oh. At least it comes in a bit of plastic, but there's not really that much to it. And judging by the looks of it, being so thin, I reckon the other one could probably do with a change. But the only way to tell is to get it out and have a look. Now these cabin filters are generally hidden up behind this glove box. Now this car, when I bought it, also had the ECU relocation, so that's there. Right, anyway, let's pop this sucker out and see what we can find. Now what else do I need to clip? Oh, here we go. Come on, you bugger. Wow. 5 screws and a clip, that's all that holds it in. Ah. Oh yeah, so that's how they've done it. Very nice, that's a nice neat little job they've done. Now I didn't relocate that ECU myself, but one of the previous owners did it. And they've done a nice neat little job with it, so quite happy with that. Now, the cabin filter. As far as I'm aware, little sucker should be in here somewhere. Pop him. Pop him. Now I'm learning as I go here, I have no idea what's going on. Oh, that just slides out, okay. We're learning together. How good is that? Yeah, and that just pulls out. That just pulls. That just... Excuse me. Who put you there? Okay, let's try that again, shall we? Ooh, careful. Don't make a mess of my nice dirty car. Oh. Why does everything have to be in the damn way? Right. Oh dear. Yep. Just as I... Holy dolly. No wonder nothing works in this car. Absolutely chock-a-block full of crap. That's the best way I could put it. Wow. Yeah, I told you these things get neglected. Oh, there's also an up symbol. Very good. Righto, so I'm going to hang that out to dry. And I'll deal with that later. But right now, we have a brand spanking new one to go in. Yeah, there's me stickers, so. If you ever find me down the beach, I've got stickers. Righto. So this little fella. There we go. That goes in there. Oh, first of all, better grab those. Clean that out just a smidgen. Get rid of that. It's obviously been parked under a tree or something at some point. Rightio. Stick it where it fits. In you get. Go on. Go in there. Do a thing. Get. Go. Go, 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 go. Come on now. Oh, there we go. Broke everything. Perfect. Why isn't that not... Did I actually break it? I think I did. Oops. Stupid. Bugger. Oh, I did break it. You suck. You suck. Get in there. Is that it? I think I got it. That is it, even if it's broken. Right. Grab this little weird looking thing. Somehow that goes that way because that's got a little ridge there. That ridge matches up with that ridge. So we'll just go with that. Like that. Okay, that was a bit awkward, but I got it. And that one, like that. And clippy clip. Well, that was very awkward, but it was easy at the same time, so there you go. Now I'm going to screw that relay back into place. So pretty well, right now it's just a reverse procedure of how it all went back together. Got one clip here, two clips on the left, there. little bang, and then we put the everything else underneath. So if you guys have enjoyed this little video of me servicing the Subaru and you want to see more content like this, please drop down the comments below and let me know what you'd like to watch, and I'll see if I can do it. Furthermore, if you'd like to support the channel, head over to buymeacoffee.com/Wara4x4. Any support is greatly appreciated. And check out our Facebook. So anything in between videos, and we post it up on Facebook, let you know what you guys are doing, including video releases and stuff like that. So yeah, check out Facebook, and thank you guys again for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video. All the parts that we've changed, that'll all go in here into my little book, my little service book, and that'll be good for another 5,000 Ks. So I change this oil every 5,000, despite what people tell me. So I like to look after my things.